Welcome to Real Vermont News. Today, we're looking into some terrible statistics about Vermont's 2020 state budget. It is $6.1 billion, up almost 36% from just 9 years ago. That's about $10,000 worth of state spending for every man, woman, and child in Vermont. If our state population is shrinking a little, and our school population is shrinking a lot, why are we spending $1.6 billion more than 9 years ago? And I hate to tell you, but we have a $4.5 billion debt to pay off too. Now, a great deal of this spending, of course, is to pay public employee salaries. And the debt is to pay their retirement and health care benefits. But Vermont has 26% more employees per capita than the national average, and only 3 states have more. If we had just the national average number of employees, could we cut our budget instead of increasing it? Here's more food for thought. UVM economics professor Art Wolf says Vermont's overabundance of public employees is due entirely to the large number of people employed in public education. We have more full-time equivalents employed in public K-12 schools relative to our population than any other state, 55% more than the national average. And for that, we can thank the NEA, the so-called teachers union, which now represents way more employees than just the teachers and makes it nearly impossible to eliminate any of them. It would be easy to blame all this spending, all this debt, on Democrat and progressive politicians, because they're the ones who come up with these crazy budgets. They're the ones who kowtow to the NEA. But we need to look at ourselves too, because in election after election, decade after decade, we have encouraged spendthrift politicians by voting for them, election after election, decade after decade. We know them. They're our neighbors. We like them, and they're good people. But the Democrat progressive supermajorities in the legislature are spending us into the poorhouse. And electing a Republican governor every now and again will never stop that. So, when you see your local legislators, tell them it's long past time to start cutting the state budget. Cutting it. Reducing the size of the budget increases is not enough. Cutting the increases is why we're in financial trouble. If your local rep agrees, pat them on the back and keep voting for them. If they start to make excuses, don't bother argue, because many politicians just don't get it. A more useful action is to look around for a good, frugal candidate to oppose the big spenders. And if you can't find one, think about running for office yourself. It's the only way we're going to get out of this mess. And that's all the Real Vermont News we have time for. A lot more happened, and we'll be looking into all of it.